the core of my thing is just making sure like every single day there is a video that goes up on the channel that has a good title, good thumbnail, all the links are correct, it's been reviewed. You have to be able to really honestly look yourself in the mirror and say, if this video came up on my feed and I didn't know who this person was, would I click on it? And that's a hard skill.
I would love to hear what your day-to-day looks like around here, because you have a very unconventional job running the Theo's channel. I imagine it comes with its own perks and cons.
It has a lot of perks. It's a very weird job and a very weird schedule. It's the core of my thing is just making sure like every single day there is a video that goes up on the channel that has a good title, good thumbnail, all the links are correct, it's been reviewed, and it has an ad on it. Normally we do very serious sponsors, and they are like really good companies. Like we're working with like WorkOS and Infinite Red and Convex. These are
cha-ching,
yep.
cha-ching, cha-ching. Every time he says that, he gets paid.
I do. But also like the companies get paid too. I mean, they keep coming back because it works. The beautiful thing is, you know, we have an audience of like really cool people who are actually doing real stuff.
Yeah.
We are speaking to the people who are working at Vercel or Google or Microsoft and are really building cool things, which means that we get to take sponsors who are actual like real products doing real stuff that are interesting to our audience. So my job is coordinating all that, making sure we've got the ad ready, going back and forth with the brand, getting the ads edited and ready. And yeah, I also help out with some of the code stuff here and there. I am an engineer and I do want to figure out the balance on that. But, you know, a lot of my job is content media stuff, which is really, really fun.
Your audience is devs.
Mm-hmm.
And expanding on that, it's not just a standard dev audience. It's a senior engineer, high expectation, high quality audience. So how do you make high quality content for an audience that's so demanding? Because like that entire audience, if you sell them, not even with the ads, but just with like content, if you sell them a story, they're like a solid 70% of it could be like, I could just build that myself in a weekend or something like that. So how do you create high quality content consistently?
Well, it's just about, honestly, like what you're doing. Like Theo's gone through a lot of different things on what he's been talking about. When he started doing YouTube, the sort of meta for tech YouTube was basically just like tutorials or shitty company YouTube channels. That was basically all there was.
Which one are we?
No, you're in the modern view. We haven't gotten to that yet. But when Theo came in, it was kind of something different. It was instead of just like, oh, here's how to spin up a React app. It's like, okay, let's talk for 30 minutes about how authentication actually works, about how this migration works, about the databases I like and don't like, about all the different ways we can do styling in X year. And it ended up kind of creating this sort of new niche where what Theo often says is he likes to think of it as like the lunchroom conversations he had when he was at Twitch. It's what senior engineers who really know this stuff want to talk about. They don't want to talk about how to spin up a React app. They want to talk about how to scale that React app and what it looks like to do that in the real world.
Yeah.
So very much our sort of thing has been, you know, Theo just talking about the things that he's excited about and he's building with. Like the video we put out yesterday was like an hour-long breakdown of what happened with the T3 chat downtime last week. And that's the kind of video that is really useful and interesting to engineers who understand how this stuff works.
Yeah.
But if you're a beginner who like barely understands how to spin up a Node app and doesn't understand for loops or if statements or whatever, if you're a beginner, you're not going to get anything out of that. You're not going to have any idea what he's talking about when he's talking about, you know, like the database sharding failing and all these different issues and getting DDoS by WebSockets. It's going to mean nothing to you. And that's fine. There is plenty of content out there for those people. And when you go through, do that, watch that other stuff, do your tutorials, build stuff, then come back to Theo's content and it'll be great for you. But we very much just kind of focus on what Theo would actually want to watch himself. And that has been very much a winning strategy.
Yeah, makes sense. Like, only create content that you would consume.
Yeah, exactly. It's just make the stuff you want to watch, which is a very trite statement. It's true, but it's also very difficult to do in practice. You have to be very honest and ruthless with yourself to really do that successfully. You have to be able to really honestly look yourself in the mirror and say, if this video came up on my feed and I didn't know who this person was, would I click on it? And that's a hard skill. That's a very hard thing to do. And even I am like struggling with that after all these years, but like that's the bar. And if you can clear that bar and you can really internalize and get that to click, it's magical what you can do.
Interesting.
I'm really, really curious to hear about the kinds of experiments that you got to run with Theo's channel. I remember that Theo used to have a very different look from what he looks like right now. And I believe the motivation behind changing the appearance was the views, like the thumbnails, right? Because a person with a mustache and blonde hair gets the attention.
Yeah, I don't want to speak too much for Theo on the full behind the scenes on this, but like, honestly, it's the biggest thing we did notice is that when you're big on any social media platform like a YouTube or a Twitter or something like that, people associate you with like your brand and your look. So when we switched over the look from the blonde hair and mustache over to like the new look, that did have a slight hit on metrics for a little bit, but it honestly hasn't been that big of a deal. Like, it's recovered pretty well, and it just kind of did become a running joke of like, there were a lot of videos where there would be like blonde Theo at the start, then new Theo for the ad, and then blonde Theo after, and there was just a lot of that for a while. But we've pretty much hit the point where like we're back to all like the new Theo style, and you know, it really hasn't been too big of an issue.
That's cool, but have you seen any other very interesting trends along, you know, A/B testing or maybe thumbnails?
Yeah, we've definitely learned a lot from this. We have the benefit of posting every single day. So a lot of YouTubers don't get nearly as much data as we do. We do every single video that we put out. I will usually make 4 to 5 thumbnails for it at minimum. And then I will send those over to Theo, and then we'll just pick the best ones out of that group and then send those out. It's still not fully like, we don't really have it to like a full science at this point. It is still a lot of like a gut feel type thing. The biggest thing we do like experimenting with is putting Theo's face in there and not putting Theo's face in there. And we've been kind of surprised on how those perform. It's often more similar than you would think. The way we kind of like to think about it is that the putting your face in the thumbnail is very much just to signal to viewers that like, hey, this is a Theo video, because they see Theo's face in the thumbnail. Versus if you don't put his face in there, you can just make the core composition super compelling and hopefully bait in new viewers with that. But again, we really haven't seen too big of a difference, but you know, it's one of those things we're evolving over time.
Because there's a lot that comes up when you're managing a channel to decide what to do and like delegation of duties and stuff like that. So how do you kind of split like the creative stuff that you do when managing this channel and stuff like that, or then more like business operation stuff? How do you like either manage your time, or how is that sort of set up?
To be honest, like we're a very small team. Like the content side of things is just Theo, me, and our editor FaZe. And FaZe is a legend. I love that guy so much. He makes our lives so much easier. We just every week, Theo will stream on Wednesday. At the end of the stream, I will go through, take the stream, chop it down into all the different videos we recorded, send those over to FaZe, and then within like 2 days, they're all edited and ready. It's fantastic. But a lot of the like work there is I'm pretty much just kind of setting everything up and getting it working, and then Theo just kind of does the final approvals. So I'll go through and get the video ready, I'll pick the ad, I'll get all that set up, and then I'll be like, hey, this is what we're going to do, this sound good? And he'll either give me a thumbs up, or he'll be like, no, switch it to this, and then I do it. It's mostly just, I basically am able to just handle all the grunt work of getting things ready and managed so that he can focus on other things. And, you know, stuff like the like core creative direction of like what videos he's recording, what he's doing, that's pretty much entirely still on him. He's the one who's handling all
so
of
he's
that.
like the primary, like, not director, but like he essentially is the director of everything.
Oh, he is the director.
But you're just like the very independent support staff, not in a way, but
yeah, I basically just do everything. It's very much like I am the manager, but I'm also like whatever Theo needs me to be. Like if there's just something that needs to happen or some email that needs to be sent, that's my job.